You've ever found yourself in the middle of a storm and you feel like the ship's going down? Like, I'm not sure I can take another minute of this. I've got an encouraging story for you. It's actually a word picture that we find in the Bible. It has encouraged me for years. The story takes place in Acts chapter 27, and the Apostle Paul finds himself on a ship headed to Rome to face trial for being a believer. So he's on this ship with other prisoners. And interestingly enough, before they even set sail, he has a perception that this thing's not going to end well. Like, it's going to be a dangerous journey. He tries to convince the sailors to not take the journey, and they don't listen, and it doesn't go well. But we find this moment in Acts chapter 27. They're at sea, and a violent storm envelops them. In fact, it says that the ship lost control and people are freaking out. These seasoned sailors are panicking. And there is this point in the story in which the only thing that they feel like they can do is to take ropes and cables and begin to wrap them around the hull of the ship. It's called undergirding. So they just wrap these cables so that the wooden planks that are just screeching and creaking and being torn apart by the wind and the waves, it will hold the boat together. So you get the picture. Paul and everybody on the ship that day are in a heck of a storm. They're fighting for their lives, and the only thing they know to do is to wrap a cable around the hull of the ship and hold on for dear life. And let's be honest, that's probably where a lot of us are today as we watch this video. It's like the storms of life are beating us day in, day out, wave after wave after wave. We feel like our boat has lost control and the ship is going down. And if that's where you are, I have an encouraging word for you. There's a verse in the Bible. It's Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. I want to read it and I want to connect it to that story that I just read from Paul. But Hebrews 4:16 says, "So now, in the middle of the storm, we draw near freely and boldly to where grace is enthroned to receive mercy's kiss and discover the grace we urgently need to strengthen us in our time of weakness." Now, I'm no Bible scholar, but from my understanding, that word strengthen there at the end of that verse is only referenced twice in the original language in the New Testament. Once here in Hebrews 4 when it talks about strengthening us in our time of weakness, and it's used once in Acts 27 when it's describing Paul and the sailors undergirding the ship in the midst of the crazy storm. And so the writer of Hebrews is basically saying, when we run to the throne of grace, to the man Jesus, we discover grace that undergirds our life. It wraps the hull of our life like those cables did in Paul's journey. Jesus is there every single time, wrapping the cables of his grace and his mercy and his love, holding us together, keeping us from coming apart, keeping us from sinking in the storm. That word picture has held me for years in the middle of the storm. Like this idea that when I purposefully run to the throne of grace and encounter Jesus, that he wraps me in his goodness. No matter what's going on around me, in the middle of the waves, in the middle of the storms, in the middle of all the sounds and the craziness, he holds the hull of my ship together, and he's doing the same for you. And I hope that that is an encouraging word. Go read it, Acts 27, Hebrews 4:16. I think it will encourage you. My name's Chad Doerr. This is Second Wind, where we love to encourage the weary. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and maybe even share it with somebody who finds themselves in the middle of life storms, because I believe it will encourage them. I'll see you on the next video.